You did say 4 o'clock for tea, didn't you, Lizzie?
Oh, don't be so ridiculous, Bish.
But you know what Father's like. 5 o'clock on the dot. He's down from his study for a glass of Madeira and then...
Then what?
There will be no space.
Space for what, for heaven's sake?
Well, to get to know our guest.
But how do you know you will want to get to know her? You've never even spoken to the poor girl. Just because Harriet played Venus in the school's ridiculous fête champêtre and you were smitten from the gods...
It was the 3rd row, actually, and Venus was so close I could almost touch her.
Doesn't mean that she's some sort of Venus in real life. Harriet is just an ordinary girl and a good companion of mine. I don't want you ruining another friendship for me with your moods and your ridiculous ideas, like you did with Harriet Grove.
That Harriet never meant anything to me.
Not now, she doesn't. Not now she's engaged to marry a farmer, but this time last week you were bombarding her with sonnets and philosophical tracts.
She asked me to oblige her with a little instruction, that is all. I might have dissuaded her from entering the bizarre institution of matrimony with a clod of earth.
Miss Harriet Westbrook to see you, Miss Elizabeth.
Welcome to Field House, Harriet.
It's very grand, isn't it?
I suppose I should introduce you to my brother Bish.
Yes, I've heard so much about you, Mr. Shelley.
All bad, I presume?
I've heard that you are a very wicked man indeed, that you are a poet and a philosopher and a writer of romances.
Have you read my Zastrozzi?
Of course she hasn't. It's not suitable for her, Bish.
For you, little sister, but for young ladies of taste and an inquiring mind.
Oh, I should love to read it.
Let me sign it for you. There. Be sure to let me know your opinions.
But you're going back to Oxford tomorrow.
'Tis true. I am summoned back for a 2nd term in prison.
Prison?
Bish is a student at University College,
Which is a prison guarded by monks and their bulldogs.
where he lives in the lap of luxury and pretends to study.
No one studies at Oxford these days, except me and my solitary friend, Jefferson Hogg.
Yes, I had a letter from your friend this morning.
And what does the Hogg have to say to you?
You have been filling your friend's brain with some idiotic notions, haven't you?
I know he desires your friendship, the poor fool.
But he's never even seen me, still less spoken to me. It's just because I'm your sister.
Miss Westbrook, would you care for some refreshment? A little rancid animal flesh? Or perhaps you would care to accompany me on a stroll round our modest park?
I call me Harriet, please.
Bish, the sleet has been falling all day, and besides, it's dark now.
Then chaste Diana's icy finger will guide us on our way.
The veal cutlets are very fine, Harriet. Just ignore him.
Golly, die, detested wretch, explained Matilda in a paroxysm of rage, as she violently attempted to bathe the stiletto in the lifeblood of her rival. But Julia, starting aside, the weapon slightly wounded her neck, and the ensanguined stream stained her alabaster bosom. I say!
I did warn you.
A terrific scene, is it not?
Especially if you enjoy scenes in which one young lady stabs another young lady 1,000 times, and the victim's blood runs in rivers down the castle walls.
You said you would never read it.
I'm just guessing, Bish.
Do you read many romances, Miss Harriet?
My father, I'm not...
When you've finished Zastrozzi, I shall recommend some others from the Italian school, or perhaps the German.
Oh, thank you. You are so kind,
You
but...
know full well they're forbidden at school.
Well, some poetry then.
Oh, I love poetry. Ah, the fairy wings of poesy.
Here we go. Is that Papa I hear on the stairs?
Why, I have just read the lyrical ballads by Mr. Wordsworth and Mr. Coleridge.
Childish fare. I shall introduce you to some real poetry. Here are some lines I've been working on at present. Soft, my dearest angel, stay. Oh, you suck my soul away. Suck on, Suck on, I glow, I glow. Tides of maddening passion roll, and streams of rapture drown my soul.
Bish, desist from that obscenity at once. How dare you frighten our young guest with your licentious drivel?
Drivel? It's poetry, father, if you've heard of such a thing.
Damn your impertinence, boy. If I hadn't already stopped your allowance.
Yes?
Well, I would.
What your sanctions are, yet I know not, but they shall be the terrors of the earth.
King Lear, my favourite play. We have Mr. Tate's version.
Harriet, have you met my father? Papa, Harriet Westbrook.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Miss Westbrook. I confess it is not a name I know. Pray, what does your father do?
Really, father?
I don't honestly know. I believe my father owns a coffee house and there is a tavern.
He's in trade, I see.
Father is a member of Parliament, at least until the revolution starts.
There will be no revolution in this country because we know what to do with traitors and anarchists.
You flatter me, father. I am but a humble scribbler of rhymes.
Harriet, will you let me show you round the house?
Rhymes? It is the content that appalls me. To think I have brought up a son who...
Lizzie, one moment. That's right, father. I am your own flesh and blood, and yet you have neglected to encourage my true vocation at every turn.
Vocation? A set of juvenile pranks.
A poet is part legislator and part prophet.
Prophet? Your incontinent maunderings have never shown a prophet and never will. I will be supporting you till the day I die.
Thank you for that promise, at least. Now, if you will excuse me, I have a revolution to organise.